Hello again. This is Kenny from. Hello? Um, oh, there you are. It's Kenny from Hangar 51, and yes, this is a big airplane. Today we're going to talk about this FMS 1700 millimeter P-51 Mustang. This is an awesome airplane, guys. Oh my God, is this thing flies phenomenally. I wish I could tell you I could do an unboxing of it and all that, but I can't. I bought this used on eBay. It had been damaged. I guess they were tired of it because of the damage. The damage wasn't that bad. I'll try to show you some pictures of. He says that something fell on the wing and broke the wingtip off. They glued it back on very poorly, but I've since fixed it and it's perfect now. Okay, so these are pictures of the way I received the plane, the damage to the wing. You can see on the top and the bottom. It's got, I don't know what they used to glue it back together, but obviously they didn't use the hot water to bring the foam back to its original shape first and then glue it together. They just glued it back together. And I say they, I'm the third owner of this plane. I don't know at which point. The guy I bought it from said he bought it already with the wing broken. I don't know. I'm just reporting what I know. So that's why I used the they, because there was two owners before I had it. My guess is the second owner liked the plane but didn't like the damage and didn't know how to fix it. So that's what it looked like when I got it. Here's my first. What I did was I mixed up some 5-minute epoxy and some micro balloons, and I made well, first I used hot water to bring it back to its correct shape, and there was a bow in the end of it, and I took that out and everything, and then I used this epoxy micro balloons mix to fill in all the gaps where the foam didn't fit back together correctly. So I wanted it as solid as possible. So I put all that in there and let that dry. And then I used a wall spackle that you can get at Walmart anywhere. It's this very, very lightweight wall spackling for filling holes in your wall. It works phenomenal on model airplanes. Balsa, foam, doesn't matter. It's very, very light. Sands super easy. So I put that. That's what this white mess is all over it. And so then I just sanded it out, got it all smoothed out. Then this is automotive, just gray automotive primer, spray can automotive primer, and sprayed it all down, taped off the decal on the bottom of the wing, and painted around it. Got that all smooth. Got the primer all smoothed out, and then I started laying the color. Now the top coat, again, I just went to Lowe's. I took the canopy with me to Lowe's, and I showed them I need this color, and they took a picture of it and matched it perfectly. They just matched perfect, so no complaints there. Sprayed a few coats of that. You buy that little airless. It's got a little charge can, a little glass bottle, and a charge can on top that will turn paint, any kind of canned or bottled paint into a spray paint. The sprayer doesn't work phenomenally well. It gets clogged really easy. It's got one tiny little breathe hole in the top, and you absolutely can't get any paint in that hole. So you really can't shake the bottle or move it too much. As a matter of fact, don't fill the bottle more than half full, because you're going to end up getting paint up in that little hole, and then it's going to stop spraying, and then you got to take it apart and clean it, and it's kind of it was very time consuming to spray the top of the wing. The good news is it came out beautifully. And after I did that, the bottom, I just went to the store, bought automotive spray can of silver paint that looked close to the color on the bottom of the wing. It matches very close. I think it was just a universal silver automotive paint. Dusted that on the bottom, and then I bought a can of clear, automotive clear spray can, and I cleared over the top and bottom to try to get
a little more durability on the paint because it's a water base. Now I bought the water base. I don't really think it matters. I think you could probably use either one, the water base or the oil base. I bought the water base. It worked out fine. The color's beautiful. I shot some clear over it for just a little more, I don't know, durability, I guess is what I was trying to achieve, and to get that sheen. Yeah, it's not actually a gloss. It's not really a flat. It's kind of a satin. So I dusted the clear on there to get that satiny look. Mine's a little shinier than, the repaired area is just a little shinier than the non-repaired area, but that's okay. It looks fine. I'm very happy with it.
Of course I bought it already, built. It's got a tiny bit of hanger rash on it, nothing bad, but oh my god, this thing is amazing. I really, really, really like this plane. So far, this is my ultimate favorite. Just the size of it, it's massive. I mean, look at it. It barely fits in my shop here. It's so big. It's a 5'6" wingspan. It's incredibly heavy. And I'm going to put it on my scale here and tell you exactly what it weighs here in a second, but I think I can. I hope I can get it on there. I don't know. Flaps, ailerons, retractable gear, wingtip nav lights, just unbelievable. When this thing's flying through the air, I was actually flying at a warehouse down the street from me here, and I had a guy pull in off the street, and he pulled up and said, I couldn't believe my eyes. I had to come see. I thought it was a real P-51. It just has that kind of presence in the air. It's so big that it could easily be mistaken for a real one at a glance. You would just think it's a little higher up than it really was, but it just, God, what a good flying airplane. It just takes off the ground in feet. I mean, it just, as heavy as this thing is, it just lifts off the ground like nothing. It just really, really surprised me. I didn't think it would fly. Literally, when I picked it up the first time, when I went to the guy's house to buy it, I could feel my fingertips sinking into the foam just from the weight of the plane. And it's EPO foam. It's well constructed, phenomenal job. Really, really, the detailing, everything. It's just a great, great looking airplane. Great flying airplane. The wingtip was broke off, glued on. I've since refixed that. Both landing doors were broken. The retract gear doors. There's two screws. There's 6 screws that hold the wing on, and 2 of them are hidden inside the gear door. If you get one of these, or if you have one of these, do not force those doors open to put the screws in. Because what had happened was, he had broken, there's little plastic tabs on each side of the door, okay, that they use as a hinge. And when you put enough force on that door to force the servo open so that you can put the screws in, you're going to break those pins. And that's what happened here. I made a couple aluminum pins on my lathe, drilled holes in the doors, screwed them in. The doors are cheap. I think I saw them, you could buy a pair of doors for $6 or $8. I didn't want to wait until they got here, so I just fixed these. But I'm telling you, that's how they break. So don't force those doors open to put those last 2 screws in. I don't even have those screws. I haven't been doing any high maneuvers that would put negative G's on the wing, and I've been doing that on purpose because those 2 screws are missing. I just have the 2 in the front, 2 in the back. I do not have those screws. I have to order them. He didn't have them. Like I said, I bought it used. So a couple of issues I had to fix, and then I'm going to have to order a couple of screws. But I do know for a fact that forcing those doors open, you're going to break those pins. So don't do that. Just cycle the gear. When the doors open, unplug your battery. Then you can put the wing on, and then plug everything back in, and then, and the same thing, taking it off. Start the cycle of the doors. As soon as the doors open, unplug the battery, And then you'll be able to remove the wing, unplug everything. I've been transporting mine with the gear down but the doors closed. So after you take those two bolts out, you can replug the battery in, let the gear either cycle up or down, whatever, let the doors close, and then you can finish taking off the wing the rest of the way. That's how I'll do it when I do get those extra two screws. So let's see, I guess, now what I've been flying it on, I put two 3,000 milliamp 3-cell packs together to make a 6-cell pack. So if you wire them in series, not in parallel, which is what this harness I made up does, you end up with a 6-cell 3,000 milliamp. Now if you wire them in parallel, you're going to have a 3-cell 6,000 milliamp. So you got to remember how that works, guys. Series doubles the cell count, not the milliamps. Parallel doesn't increase the cell count, it just increases the milliamps. So I needed a 6-cell pack to fly this, didn't have one, didn't really want to buy a dedicated 6-cell because it's the only thing I'd have to fly it on. So I thought this was probably going to be a better way to go. So I just made up a harness to change two 3-cell packs into one 6-cell pack. And I'm going to do the same thing. They want you to fly this on like a 4,000, 4,500 pack. I actually bought some 5,000 packs. Again, 3-cell 5,000, because I can use these in anything else I have. I can put them on my Alta-Rotor or whatever. I didn't want a dedicated battery pack for this. And so I'm going to put these in to get a longer flight time. But with the 3,000s in it, let's pop them in there. Tongue and groove on the nose, piece of big hefty foam, earth magnets on the back. Haven't had any problem with the canopy coming off. It stays on there pretty well. It's not loose or anything. It really does stay in there pretty well. So let's just drop them in there and plug this in. I need the radio, and the radio is in the house. So I'm going to cut the video for a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So let's plug this thing in. Not really put the batteries in the way I normally fly them. Just want to get them in there long enough to plug this in. So we can demonstrate. I want to show you the retracts. Pretty cool. Pretty scale looking. They're pretty noisy, but you're not going to hear that in the air, so. Okay, so the 6 count, if you're not familiar with that, was to tell you it's a 6-cell battery. It's basically telegraphing back to you that it's a 6-cell battery pack in the plane. So, so that's what that is. And then I think this will still go on even though the battery's in the wrong place. Yeah. Okay. So here's the retracts. You'll notice the doors will cycle, then the gear will go up, and then the doors will cycle closed. Oh. Yeah, well, it would do that if I had the gear plugged in. Let's redo that. We'll plug the gear in. I don't have the wings plugged in because when I store the plane, I store it with the wing on, but I don't plug everything back in because I just have to take it all back out again to take the wing off. So I usually just leave everything unplugged, but I keep it with the wing on because I like seeing the plane together. It's just a beautiful airplane. Now it's got these single point connectors for the wings, which look basically like a 6-cell balance lead. Is exactly what this looks like. But it actually, everything in the wings is on this one plug. Each half of the wing has its own separate plugs. There's 2 full function plugs. That's your nav lights, your aileron servo, your flap servo, your retractable landing gear. All on each half of the wing on each plug. and there's a block here, and all you do, doesn't matter which side, I don't know how it knows, but it knows which side's which. So all you do is plug it in, and it takes it from there. It knows which side it's plugged into, and everything works perfectly every time. So you don't have to worry about getting the left wing plugged into the right hole, the right wing. It doesn't make any difference which one you plug into which. You just plug it in, and you're ready to go. So that one connector on each half of the wing, so there's two connectors. Instead of having to connect an aileron plug, a flap plug, a nav light plug, and a retract plug each time, for each wing, or they're on a Y connector, none of that. You just have this single point connector. It's a wonderful idea, really great. So you just put that one plug in and you're ready to go. So I don't know if you probably can't see the nav light. You might be able to see that one reflecting off the thing there. They're very bright. But I know that the wings are not completely in screen because the plane's just too big. So here's the gear. Doors open. Okay. Okay, so that was the gear down sequence. Here's the gear up sequence. So, in the air, very scale looking. The way they go up and down, they're not exactly even, just like the real thing. I don't believe the P-51's doors would close in the down position on the real plane after you put the gear down. I think the doors remained open, but that's a really nice feature that this has because I haven't experienced it, but I've seen videos on YouTube, people flying these, and sometimes these doors will get caught in tall grass, and that'll break a door off. So it's great that they do close. I'm assuming that this came from the factory with the gear door sequencer in it because I've seen other people on YouTube doing their reviews, and they have the sequencer. Again, I bought it used, so I'm not positive what it came with, but I'm pretty sure that's included in the kit. So you got your ailerons, you got your flaps, not scale speed on the flaps, of course, but that's okay. And then put the gear back down. Again, the door's open. And then they reclose. So, just unbelievable airplane, guys. I just can't tell you how impressed I am with this model. This is absolutely the best plane I've had yet, by far. Now, I don't know if I can get this nose down onto the scales here. Tell you what. And I can't stress it enough, guys. This thing is really heavy. How it flies as good as it does, I was shocked. I really was, because it's just so heavy. I didn't think it'd get off the ground. And it jumps off the ground. I mean, it's effortless the way it jumps off the ground. Okay, so where are we at? £10, just over 10 pounds is what I'm getting. And that's with the 3,000 milliamp pack. And there's my wing repair. I guess it's probably the tip was broke off about here, right across here. The tip was broke off. Repaired it. Went to Lowe's. Got them to match me up some paint. They take what they do is they get this special camera. They can take a picture of it,
and then that gives him a formula, mix it, it matched perfect. That came out really nice. I don't know how much damage I'm doing here, probably not a good thing. Oh, okay, there we go. I have a feeling I might have dug up the wing over here a little bit. That looks alright. So, just over 10 pounds with the 3,000 milliamp pack. I happen to know that these two packs weigh a pound each. The 5,000 milliamp pack, so that's probably going to add close to another pound to this plane. At least a half a pound. So it's going to be 10 and a half, 10 3/4 flying weight. And trust me, when you pick this thing up, you'll absolutely know that I'm not kidding. It really weighs a lot. And but again, it just flies phenomenal. It's so stable. It wants to stay in the air even at low speed. You can throttle it way back and it'll just cruise along so nicely, and it doesn't try to fall out of the sky even at the 11 pounds, almost 11 pounds. It really just flies with a lot of authority. It's just a phenomenal flyer. I haven't had any issues yet, but there's a couple of things that bother me about this plane that I worry. Those prop blades. They're individual blades that screw onto a hub. I've seen more than 3 videos on YouTube where that has come apart. And as soon as one of those blades leaves that thing, the vibration is so intense that it literally shakes the plane apart. I mean, in seconds, it looks like somebody took a shotgun blast to it, and it just explodes. So I can't stress it enough. You gotta make sure you balance that prop. Make sure those screws are secure, that the blades are secure. Check the blades very carefully. Make sure you don't see any stress fractures, any defects in the prop. If you see anything that bothers you at all about the prop, don't use it. Get another one. The blades are sold individually. I think a pack of 4 blades is only $10, so the pricing of blades is pretty good. The whole screwing it on the hub idea scares me. So I'm going to do a little more work on that myself to make sure it's more secure and that it's balanced properly. I don't fly the thing wide open for that very reason. As soon as I get it in the air, I throttle it back because, and it flies fine throttled back. I mean, I'm not setting any speed records, but it's not falling out of the sky by any means. It flies beautifully. But that prop scares me. That scares me a lot. I've seen 3 different ones now on YouTube where the prop came apart and the plane just disintegrated. I don't mean, it fell out of the sky like, the engine stopped. I mean, it exploded. The vibration was so violent that the plane just broke into pieces, just disintegrated in the sky with confetti all over the sky. So, and when you slow it down, when they slow it down, and you can actually see the prop blades leaving, before the explosion. So that's what happened. If there's one blade gone, it's so out of balance that the plane shakes itself to pieces. And so that scares me. I'm not a big fan of that. That scares me. But other than that, God, I can't say anything bad about this airplane. It's beautiful to look at. It tracks on the ground beautifully. It flies beautifully. It's just an incredibly good airplane. FMS really, I don't know if they've got engineers on staff that actually did some wing, lift analysis to see, and I really don't know why this plane weighs this much. It's all foam. An 11-pound foam plane just boggles my mind. I mean, I know it's big, and it's big, but my God, 11 pounds? I don't know where the weight is, The batteries even these batteries are only 2 pounds, the 5,000 milliamps, so the 3,000s are less, and it still weighs almost 11 pounds. I just don't know where the weight is. It's got an aluminum spar. It's got 2 aluminum spars in the main wing. They're aluminum hollow tubes. They don't weigh anything. I
I really just don't understand where all the weight is. It's just, I can't figure it out, but it's very heavy. But it just flies beautifully. I mean, you will definitely not be disappointed with this one. Okay, so that's all the good stuff. I really only have one bad thing to say, and this is directly to FMS guys. If you're watching this, please, your pricing on this plane is out of control. You sell the 14 millimeter, the 1400 millimeter plane for $269, which is high price, but that I'll give you that one. Okay, this isn't even 20% bigger. It's a 1700 millimeter, and you're doubling the price. $459 is out of my price range. I'm sorry, I cannot afford this airplane, and I love it. And even after flying it, if I'd have flown a friend of mine's, I still can't afford this airplane. Okay, so the 1400 millimeter is a much better value. It's only a little bit smaller. It's half the price. So please, FMS guys, get your pricing in order. This is not double price. It's a little extra foam. Where are you doubling the price? I mean, it's a little bigger, a little more foam. Foam's nothing. It's pennies. So where do you come up with an extra $200 for this airplane? I can't justify it. It's too expensive. You've blown me out of this. I had to buy a used one, a damaged used one, to get your product, because I wanted one so bad that I actually started looking around to see if I could find. I wasn't expecting to find this. I mean, I got a screaming deal on this. I bought it for $140 on eBay, and it was damaged, but it was easy to fix. I mean, I can do this kind of work, so that was simple. So this was exactly what I was hoping to find. Didn't think I would find, and I did. So that's the only reason I have this plane, because at $459, guys, I can't afford this plane. It's way out of my price range, and that's my only complaint to this plane. You know, the prop is an issue that I don't know is an issue. It concerns me, but I don't know that it's an issue. We'll see. You know, like I said, I've seen 3 different ones of these FMS models come apart because the prop came apart. Now, I don't know if they're stripping the screws, if they're not balancing it. I have no idea. I mean, it's not something I can control or know, but it still scares me. I don't like that prop idea. The whole single blade screwing it to a plastic hub just kind of scares me. It works. The plane flies great. I've flown this a bunch of times. It flies great, but I won't fly it wide open. At wide open throttle, I hear a noise. And if you hear a noise, you have an issue. So if you're flying your plane and you hear that prop noise, you need to stop, throttle back at the very least. If not land it, at least throttle back until the noise goes away, because that's a warning. That's an audible warning telling you, hey, listen to me, I have a problem, okay? And that's exactly, I heard the noise on the one plane. It was the 1700 Corsair that was flying along, and he was even complaining about it. It was a pig. It wasn't very fast, and he was running it wide open the whole time, and then all of a sudden it exploded. And when he slowed it down, you could see the prop blades leaving the hub, so there was no doubt why it exploded. So those are my only 2 issues. I'm a little concerned about the prop. I don't know that it's an issue. We'll see. The price. Price is out of control. I'm not saying, I realize it's a beautiful, fully constructed, ready to fly airplane with servos and the motor and everything. I get all that. But your $259 1400 millimeter is a much better value. You know, it comes exactly like this with the retracts and everything. It's just a little bit smaller, and it's half the price. You know, this is not that much bigger. It's a little bit more foam. The servos, you know, they're pennies in price difference. The motor, maybe $1 or $2. A $200 price increase, I can't justify it. It's out of my price range. So that's my only complaint. And I know it's, you know, some of you guys are saying, yeah, but you're getting a ready-to-fly airplane. Okay, I get that. You know, true enough. You know, and maybe I'm just not in the right market to want a plane this big, I guess. You know, but when I look at the numbers, you know, and I've been in manufacturing, so I know what it takes to make this. And when I see them pricing their 1400 millimeter for $259 or $269, and this is not even 20% bigger, at a 1700 millimeter, and they want double the price. I just don't justify that, you know. So that's my only issue, guys. Other than that, you will absolutely love this airplane. This 1700 millimeter P-51. It doesn't matter which scheme you get it in. You know, I'm sure the red tail or the I forget the other names. The Kentucky, I don't know, something. Anyway, they've got a few different color schemes. They're all the same airplane. You know, pick your color, and you will absolutely, if you can afford this airplane, you will love this airplane. That's all I can say. I personally can't afford it. I had to buy a used one. If you can afford it, I absolutely buy it. If that's too pricey, if I go buy one of these, I'm gonna buy a 1400 millimeter because I can't afford this one. I can barely afford the 1400 millimeter. So that's where I'm going next, because this is just, I can't justify $450, $460 plus shipping, plus, you know, it's a $500 airplane now. That's just, and then you got to buy batteries for it. You know, yeah, you know, a 6-cell pack ain't cheap. It's cheaper to buy them in 3-cell packs and hook them together to make a harness. But you know, anyway, that's my review, guys. Like me here on YouTube, like me on Facebook. If you have any comments, put them at the bottom. Love to hear from you. If you also have one of these, if you have had any issues, I haven't had any issues. I haven't had it that long. I've probably flown it, I don't know, maybe 10 times. And every time I fly it, it puts a bigger smile on my face, because I just can't believe how good it is at 11 pounds and how good this thing flies. It is amazing. So that's it. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.